morning, everyone. Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
We are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow. And today is Tuesday, September 10th.
Yes.
It is September 10th. So welcome, 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 welcome. And we are here to talk to you about back to school.
Yes, this is the back to school edition.
Yep. So during the summer, beginning of August, we were chatting with our friend online and talking about the fact that July basically kicked our butts. Straight across the board, kicked our butts. The heat, the humidity, and we didn't want to do anything.
Right.
You don't want to make anything. You don't want to knit. You don't want to sew. You just want to exist until the heat and humidity passes. And the day that we were talking, it was a little bit better. So we were starting to think, well, maybe it might be in our future again. We might actually want to do that. So we were talking about how to get the crafting mojo back.
And we were also talking about, I mean, it also came up that nobody had plans for Labor Day weekend.
Right.
So we were talking, it started off as, oh, we'll have a crafty weekend because every so often we just get together virtually and craft.
Together.
Yeah.
But separately.
And then it morphed into very quickly.
Well, starting something new.
Right.
You know, get excited. We're going to start something new. So everybody would start a new project over Labor Day weekend. So then we were talking about what do you start?
Right.
And then we started throwing ideas around, and all of a sudden we're doing back to school.
Right.
It's like starting the new school. Because here in the Northeast, Labor Day marks basically the beginning of a new season. I know it's not actually fall on the calendar, but school starts, it starts getting a little bit cooler, you know. Here we just
September is just
you're
easing into fall.
Right. So it's like the beginning of fall for us. So we're like new season, it's Labor Day weekend, back to school. Let's do back to school projects. And then all of a sudden, instead of us starting one project over Labor Day weekend,
we had a whole class schedule. And
now we're starting 5.
And we have parameters.
Yes.
And there's a time frame.
Yeah, we're going till the end of November.
Through.
December is busy for everybody, so kind of November 30th is like a tentative end date.
Yeah.
So it's like the fall semester.
Right.
We had to keep it within. You had to include certain crafts. So you have to have something yarn related. You have to have something sewing related. You have to have something cross stitch. And you have to have something hand sewn. And then there's an elective that you can
do whatever you want.
You want to do paper, you want to do jewelry making, you want to make wind chimes, you want to repeat one of your other courses. It all works.
Right. And it all has to be new.
All has to be brand new. And then we had class schedules. So you know you are with the right people when a week after you're talking about this, you get a packet in the mail that looks like this, that includes your acceptance letter to Artistic Pause Academy. Enclosed, you will find the class list for the fall semester. As you select your classes for the term, please reference the recommended supplies list. All students must complete 4 projects with the required supplies and 1 elective. Artistic Pause Academy is an elite institute, and this semester promises to be a challenging yet fun experience. We look forward to seeing what you make. I mean, honestly,
yeah, we got little notebooks.
So it's got your schedule and everything. When we were talking about the classes, I tried to root for Care of Magical Creatures, but I was informed that no school in the United States does Care of Magical Creatures. So I had to fit one of my projects in creatively a different way because I knew I was doing something with a dragon.
Yeah, I got really creative.
And I had to fit him in somewhere, but I did.
Yep.
I made him work. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell you what classes we chose, what
projects go with them,
what medium those projects are, and because we each put together, Helen and I each put together a homework list with our classes, and it's the weeks that you have to do it. So that we have
we scheduled out our projects for the time frame, the
Right.
13 weeks.
So that we could figure out how we could try and finish as many of them as possible, because we're really gearing towards finishing them. Whether one of them gets finished or not is a possible maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, I have one that's going to be probably, I may get a D in that subject, but maybe a C. I'm going to say I'm going to pass.
Yes.
I just may not pass with flying colors.
Because it may not be completely finished,
right.
But we'll show you.
And it may be, because some of them are going to finish early, so I'll have more time on the back end
right.
for that project.
Right.
But it's exciting to start new projects. I mean, everybody loves to just drop everything and start new projects. But with the time frame and the, ingest, the whole back to school thing and scheduling things out, it's hopefully we will finish for possibly 5 projects.
Right.
And the 5th, if it's not finished, will be well on its way, and may just, I may have to go to summer school.
Right. Do the winter
break.
The winter break. Have to finish it in the winter break. We shall see.
Yeah.
Okay. The 5 courses that we have to fit things into are science, English, history, math, and an elective.
Right.
So my botany is a cross stitch project. Helen's going to put it right here. And this is from Cross Stitch for the Earth, 20 Designs by Emma Congdon. And she's
Stitchrovia.
Stitchrovia.
So
this is a book that she put out.
With Stitchrovia, Marybeth and I have started several of hers. And now we've added 2 more to the list.
So I'm keeping this in my sewing buddy that I made. And this is what I've gotten done so far. So this is botany because it's basically the natural world. And it does have mushrooms on it. There is the start of a mouse. And
it's got a crease,
the mushroom.
I love the top of the shroom.
Okay. I was stitching these stitches here, and I thought that they were part of the design of the mushroom, but they're his tail. And as I was stitching them, I didn't realize they were his tail until I saw. See how it curls around?
Oh, okay.
It's very subtle, but you can see it curling around on top of the mushroom. I love this. I think it's so, so beautiful.
This is, we buy any pattern book, we're suckers for them. Knitting, sewing.
I was going to say, we buy cross stitch patterns like it's a
job. I mean, but just pattern books in general. Usually it's like, maybe half of them I want to make.
Right.
Whether I ever actually make any of them is also, but this one I think is every single one I want to make.
I think so. I really do.
This book is it just came out because I know we pre-ordered it and then all of a sudden just showed up in our Kindle. So
the images, I mean the cross stitches are so pretty.
Yeah.
Helen's going to put a link down below if you want to get it, but it's just, look at this. I mean, and they're fall colors. It's perfect for the time of year, and I adore the saying. So that is my botany class.
Okay, my botany, I also went with botany. Surprise, surprise. Plants and natural life is my hand stitching. This here is my Rosemary quilt. This is a part English paper piecing, part machine piecing quilt by It's So Jody, from Tales of Cloth. And I finished the quilt top ages ago. Well, not ages ago.
No, you finished it over the summer.
I finished it over the summer. I finished the EPP part of it, and then I finally pieced it over the summer.
Right.
And then to make myself actually quilt it, because I knew that I wanted to hand quilt it, I decided to put it into back to school. So my back to school project is to hand quilt, bind, and finish this quilt. So I have basted it, which was a day. I pin basted it because by hand quilting it, I can manipulate it and smooth it out as I go along. I don't need the spray base that you might need when you're machine quilting. So I'm trying to show you. I've got 3 blocks done so far.
Here's one. Here's another.
So it was these 3.
Okay.
So what I am doing, the plan is that in these plain blocks, I'm just going to do an X. So you can see I'm trying to get I was going to go with just white threads, and I'm like, no, I think I kind of want the threads to kind of blend in a little bit. So as much as I can, I'm blending, getting them as close as I can to the fabrics. And then when I get to the rosemary flowers, I'm going to outline them. So I'm just going to come, maybe 1/8 of an inch out here and just go up and around. And
will you do the inside ones too? Will you baste around the sew around the inside ones too?
No, I think I'm just
the
going.
outside?
I think I'm just going to the outside. This is what she did on her quilt. That was the sample in the book, and I thought, oh, it's a great, easy way to get into hand stitching.
Right.
I don't have crazy patterns that I have to find out. So you can see where I've drawn on my X's with my Frixion pen. The heat goes away with the heat. So, because I do not trust myself to freehand a proper X. But I did these 3, maybe. Were we on the phone for like an hour? It was when we were talking. We were doing an update on our back to school with our friend. I really, surprisingly enough, kind of enjoyed it. Here you can see on the back. Oh, I also had to piece my back. That was the week one was piecing the back fabric and basting.
God, I love the back fabric that you've chosen. It looks so pretty with the front.
So you can kind of see the X here. So it's just very subtle.
Sometimes we've talked about this before with certain quilts. The fabric is so beautiful. You don't want to have it over quilted to take away from the fabric.
Right.
And this is the perfect way of quilting it and giving it a little bit of depth and interest, and yet not taking anything away from the fabrics.
From the quilt top, yeah.
Because the fabrics are beautiful.
Right.
Do you remember what line it is?
I don't even think I remember. I knew what it was when I picked it out. It was a fat quarter bundle that we had in our stash that I just pulled out. But it's it's a wintry one, so it'll be done just in time to come out for the winter. And I'm very excited to be forcing myself to start it and get it done.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are you using for your batting?
Oh, just cotton batting. We have a giant roll of it. Most of the time, the biggest problem, like the hurdle of basting a quilt, is having to fight the giant roll of batting to get it off. But I brought out the whole thing and I did it, and there was a piece sitting on top, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a piece already cut. Is there any chance that it's big? It was perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
Absolutely perfect. So I didn't even have to fight with the roll. And we have a giant table that I can just lay it all out flat, and pin basting takes time, but it wasn't bad at all.
Good. So very good.
That is my botany.
Okay.
So I have to do 7 blocks a week until I'm done, and then bind it, and it's all set to go.
How many blocks are there overall?
49, I think.
Okay.
That doesn't work out right. There are 9 of these.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah. Rosemary. And we're getting into the perfect season to have a quilt on your lap as you
watch TV and stuff.
hand stitch it.
45, I think.
Okay.
I think it's 9 by 5.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So
All right.
45.
Okay.
That makes sense because I did 3 and then I'll do 6 weeks of 7.
Okay, look at this. Look at this orange backing against like the green or the red. It's just the perfect color. It really is. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Cool. All right. Hand stitching down.
Yeah. We'll fold that up later.
Okay. All right. Up next is language arts. I am doing children's literature for my language arts, and I am doing, well, pretty much pick a book that's got a pig in it. Babe, Charlotte's Web, whatever. Pick a book that has a pig in it, because I'm knitting a pig. This is Alphonse. This is from the book Moosh and Friends by Cynthia Vallée, and
I think it is only available through Lane Publishing. We bought the digital version.
Okay.
So I'll put a link down below where we got it from.
But
so, these patterns are only available in the book. She doesn't sell them. Cynthia Vallée is, I did Sadie and Sori, the mouse and the rabbit were her patterns, but she sells those patterns separately on Etsy. No, Ravelry. But Alphonse and the one I'm doing are only available in the book.
Okay, so I have my maker's tote that has all my projects in it. I am doing him out of Rambling Roses. And I'm going to be doing...
Just getting blown out. This is very peachy.
His sweater and his pants in that. So I think his sweater is going to be green, and then his pants are going to be green and purple together.
Oh, cool.
And this is where I am on him. So I have a head and a snout. And then I am, I think, going down, and I'm going to start doing his body soon. I started out on DPNs and moved over to magic looping it because the DPNs were driving me insane. So I have it on a magic loop. I'm doing this on a size 2.5, which teeny tiny.
Yeah.
But he's going to be very, very cool.
Yes, he is.
All these these are his eyes.
Her patterns, you start with the tip of the nose, every single one I've done of hers, because I've done the turtle too. You start at the tip of the nose, you go back for the head, and you do this whole thing. You don't have to pick up stitches anywhere. You don't have to sew anything in. It's just all
done for you
in one piece. So, except for the clothes, obviously.
So I am working on him, and I will continue to work on him. That is my knitting project. So that's my language arts. Okay. Thank you.
My language arts is cross stitch. Also from Cross Stitch for the Earth. I will put my pattern here. Mine is this is my this is going to be the one that I probably won't finish, but we shall see. This is the one that has the possibility of not being finished because I think it's 12,000 stitches. It's much bigger than I thought it was going to be because I have to do something like 965 stitches a week over the 13 weeks to get it done, and we're 2 weeks in and I've done 943. So, but
okay.
That's how far I've gotten. So I've done all the vine and the leaves for this page, and I'm starting out now with the words. So,
And how does this tie into the literature?
Oh, the quote is Shakespeare.
There you go.
So this was my easiest tie-in. It was the Rosemary quote was possibly going to go literature because Rosemary for Remembrance from Shakespeare, but then I picked this one. I'm like, oh well, okay, that solves that one,
right?
So it's a fun cross stitch. It's beautiful. I love the vines.
It's really beautiful.
And once I get going with the birds and everything, the colors are so pretty.
I know. That's one of the things with her patterns. The colors are just gorgeous. Yeah. Look, there's a needle in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next is history. This is where I got creative. So I was looking through the history choices, and one of them you had anthropology, civics, religious studies, Renaissance, revolutions around the world, and the Victorian era. And I went with the Renaissance because in the Renaissance, dragons were rehabilitated from symbols of evil to guardians of treasure and virtue.
So maybe I had to write down her explanation.
So this is the dragon that I am making. And this is from a book that we have. These are foundation paper piecing book projects, and this is not the easiest thing to do. So this is from a book called
okay, it's a book called So Magical by Mary Hertel, and if you're on Kindle Unlimited, it's part of Kindle Unlimited.
So it is foundation paper piecing, which looks something kind of like this, where you have to lay the fabrics over it and then sew down the line, and it's very figuring out how big a piece to put so that when you fold it back, it's going to cover the spot that you want, and then trimming it and everything. It's difficult. So this is what I've gotten done so far. This is his wing. And I was originally planning to make him into a wall hanging, but I am thinking I may make him into a pillow for my bed. I'm not sure. Be cool. But I'm kind of thinking I might do that. So that is where I am so far. I tried to do part B yesterday and got it all sewed and everything. And then as I was trimming it, I trimmed off the entire thing that I sewed together because I wasn't trimming in the right spot and that sort of thing. You have to be very careful. I need to watch another video.
I was going to say, we watch the video, you go do a piece.
Right.
And then you go away for a week and it's like, oh, now I got to watch the video again. And we were watching it yesterday and then we both fell asleep. She got to like a particular spot and we both passed out. And then we were like, did you watch it? Nope.
So we're going to watch it again.
Right.
However, by the time I'm done this, I hope I have foundation paper piecing down so that I can remember how to do it.
Right.
Because there are so many projects out there. I mean, we have Baby Yoda. We have a whole bunch of really cool ones. So it's exciting. Also, some of the quilts that people make using the foundation paper piecing, the reason they do it is because you get these really, really fine points that you would not be able to get if you were sewing the pieces of fabric together.
Also the teeny tiny, I mean, that is a very thin piece of fabric.
Right. So that in order to get all these fine points and stuff done, the foundation paper piecing is the way to go. So yeah, some of the quilts that people make are stunning, absolutely stunning.
And this is something that we both wanted to try for a long time. Because we've had patterns for it, but we just, and the patterns, of course, because it's us, they're very intricate.
Yeah.
Because I was going to pick one of them to do for back to school, and I'm, oh no, those are way too tiny pieces. I've got to go a little simpler.
And that is where these come in.
Yeah.
These two books have really nice patterns that aren't overly
right.
There's some really simple ones to work with.
Yeah.
So yes, I am doing a dragon, and he will be somewhere in my room guarding my treasure. Okay, history.
History. I went with civics as my history class. Uh, and I am doing Horatio the donkey. From Mushu Friends. So I'm tying him in because of the election, donkey for the Democrats. So I was going to try and use a gray yarn for him, but in my silly little brain, I like to think that the stuff I use up my scraps for it, and I did not have enough gray and fingering weight scraps to do him. So he is going to be a brown shaded donkey. So this is his snout here. And then this is we're going up to his head like that. And I'm to the point where I have to put in his eyes and his facial features. And then I think I'm picking up for the ears. So that is where I am. I'm a little bit behind on him, but he's only going to take a couple weeks, so I didn't mind falling behind on him. Because he's, especially the head part, there are a lot of short rows that you're doing, and I think I'm on like the 5th short row section in a row. So you really have to kind of pay attention
Right.
to what you're doing. It's not potato chippy TV watching. So, but he really is, it's like his head is a reverse sock. It's like you knit the sock in reverse if you look at it. I was looking at it yesterday. I'm like, huh, I should put a heel in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm very excited about him. So this is going to be his body. I've got this for his overalls. And then this is for his hooves. Hooves. His feet and his hands. And it is in my plover pouch that I made.
Cool.
I do have to be careful though because I was sticking the I'm doing it on DPNs. And the other day when I was finished I just stuck the DPNs into the ball of yarn like that. And one of them got stuck and I just pulled it.
Oh, and pulled them right off.
Pulled them right off. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So got them all back on. We're good. But I just have to be careful. So, that is Horatio in my civics class.
Okay. All right. Next up is math. And I am doing geometry. And for this, I have decided that I am going to try and get 2 blocks done in the Queen of Diamonds quilt because I've been thinking about it. I absolutely love the fabrics that I have chosen to make this quilt from. They're all Anita Dram. I just adore it. It was the hand sewing that was getting to me, and having worked with hand sewing the binding on my Naker's bag, and learning how to hand sew properly so that I'm not doing 17 billion little stitches in an inch, I think it's going to make it a lot easier. So we're going in, hopefully.
And I know we said everything had to be brand new, but this is new because she's doing 2 new blocks. That's
right.
where we're...
That's how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm getting the 2 new blocks. So I am going to be working on blocks 5-1 and 5-2.
It's also because we were trying to keep, when we were doing we were trying to keep up with the schedule. And once we fell behind on the schedule, then it was just like, oh, well, okay, let's just walk away.
So this is block 5-1. There are a tremendous amount of tiny little diamonds. And then this is block 5-2. And basically what I needed to do for week 1 was pick the fabric for block 5-1. And then week 2 was to baste the pieces. So I'm on track for that. So I have got my pieces all basted. I know where everything's going to be. I know, right? He's going to be the middle.
swear to God, she puts out fabric and I just want it all.
We buy everything.
Yeah.
So this is on track. By the next update, I should have it almost completely pieced, or at least partially pieced. I don't think it's going to take a tremendous amount of time. The good thing about a million little teeny tiny diamonds is you're not going to get many stitches. You
Right.
don't have to worry about too many stitches on it. So this is in, oh, I don't remember what this is called. But this is a bag.
It's like the EPP bag or something.
Yeah, this is a bag that I made when we first started the Queen of Diamonds. And this is out of Moon Garden fabric. I am such a sucker for apple green
I need
and
to make one of those.
bees. Sucker for bees too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
And stripes. It's all in there.
all contained in there. So that is my math class.
Okay.
Geometry.
My math is also geometry, and this is where I've thrown in my foundation paper piecing. I'm going to make the messenger bag. I'm going to put the picture here. This is from Clever Totes by Mary Hertel, same as Mary Beth's book. And I just, I've picked my fabrics, and this week I have to piece the cat. I'm supposed to piece the entire cat this week. So this afternoon, oh look, there's your dragon.
That's fine.
My
pieces.
I am going to start piecing him. His eyes are buttoned, so I don't have to do little circles or anything like that. But I'm really kind of excited about this because he's just like a crazy looking cat. And I'm going to get a new bag out of it.
Right.
So this is what he's going to look like.
Cool.
That is my math class.
Okay, so my elective is chemistry, and this is the project that I may not get finished.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know, because all right, this is the spooky shelfy quilt, and there are, I think, 19 or 20 blocks that you have to put together, and then put them together in the rows, and then with sashing, very little sash, tiny little piece of sashing in between, and then you have to baste it and quilt it. And
well, those are totally different projects. There's the quilt top, and then there's quilting, because those are, to me, those are very distinctly two different projects.
Right. Well, ideally, I would love to have a finished quilt, like finished. So that's my goal. Even doing one block a week, I'm still not going to finish it. We shall see. I'm going to try, but this is where I am so far. The great thing about this is,
how do you do the spiders?
He is
those tiny little legs.
I think he is a piece that kind of applique like you are.
Oh, okay.
You trace it and then you applique it. All right. So the great thing about this is this was a quilt kit that came from Riley Blake. So it came with all the fabric. I don't need to pick the fabric at all. All I need to do is cut it, which is wonderful. So I have done 2 different blocks for this so far, and they're both book blocks. So this is one. And this is block 2.
It's great fabric.
It really is. So I'm on track right now to doing 1 block a week. I really think I'm going to be able to fit in 2 blocks a week, which means that I should be able to get it all done and put together, hopefully. But the instructions are fantastic. They tell you for this block, you need to cut out these pieces from fabrics A, B, J, K, P, and R, whatever. And then they have you put together that block. And so you're not cutting out everything ahead of time. It's really easy. And they're all fat quarters with, I think, a yard of the white fabric and maybe 3/4 of a yard of the one that's going to be the sashing.
Right.
Other than that, they're all fat quarters, so really easy pieces to work with. It's not like you're dealing with this great big long yard of fabric type of thing that you have to cut. So I'm really enjoying it right now. It's a lot of fun. And it's one of those things where you just kind of potter your way through it, which is the way I love to do things. I love just pottering through, and then I have my box. I have one of these 12 by 12 boxes because the blocks cut down to 12 and a half by 12 and a half. So I've got my blocks in here, and as I finish them, I just put them in there. And then when it comes time to put them together, I'll know exactly how to put them together.
Yeah, because once the blocks are done, putting it together should be a piece of cake.
Yes. Yes.
So,
but I mean, I'm doing it as chemistry because you've got all your potions and your cauldron.
It's going to be such a cool quilt.
It's going to be so cool. So, as I said, in an ideal world, I will have a completely finished quilt. If not that, hopefully I have the quilt top done by the time semester's over. But as we had said, some of these projects like the dragon, if I can figure out how to foundation paper piece, it's not going to take me the full 13 weeks.
Right.
And hopefully my pig is not going to take me the whole 13 weeks so that I can put that time towards finishing up the others and be picking up an extra credit course or something, like doing an extra cross stitch. We shall see.
Okay. Okay, my elective is entomology. And this is another quilt kit that we got from Riley Blake. And this is called In the Wings. And I thought I was being so smart that I was just going to have to sew a bunch of blocks together, and it would be an easy peasy. I'd get it done quickly, and it would be one of my.
Like this was printed on the fabric.
Right. I thought these were all just part of the fabric. So then
Can I just show you this? Look at him in his spats. I mean, whoever designed this is brilliant. Putting a bee in spats. Come on.
And then look at him in his.
The cricket. Oh my God.
So then I opened the box. And I took out the pattern. Huh. That's an awful lot of pattern. And then I realized, none of this is part of the fabric.
You have to put it all together.
This is all applique. So the letters, I have to cut out the letters. I have to cut out all the little pieces of him. And so I put it back. I'm like, I'm not doing this. But the thing is I kind of want this hanging behind my bed, because I kind of want to do like a nature-y theme in my room, and this would be a great wall hanging to go with that. So I decided, you can do this. Just take it step by step.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
And you can figure this out.
The good thing about this not being like printed is that then if you hang this up over your bed, I can make this again in a completely different, using similar colors but different fabrics. And I can have it that I could use too.
Right. So you get all the fabrics you need. The cutting, they give you the cutting. There are like 3 pages for cutting. So what I did was the first week I cut everything.
Did you really?
Yeah, everything is cut.
Oh wow.
And except for the applique pieces.
Right.
Those I'm doing as I go. And then I just broke it out over the weeks of which blocks I have to do each week. So I started off simply, and I decided to do the leaf just so I can get a handle of the applique process. So I did him last week.
How is it?
Oh, it's not bad. I mean, you need scissor skills, which sometimes mine aren't the greatest. But I'm using heat bond as my interfacing
Stabilizer type thing
to attach them, and then I'm stitching them down. So the garden is a label from one of the fabrics. I did not have to cut out those letters. And then this week, my homework was to do the wings, W-I-N-G-S. So I have a W upside down.
right.
So the I is there are two pieces because you have to applique the leaf and then the I on top of the leaf.
Okay.
The N. The G.
God, I love this fabric.
Yeah.
This yellow fabric is so cool.
Well, these are all tickets, the red and the blue.
This is ledger paper. This is tickets.
So
That's so cool.
Yeah. So they have applique pieces that you put on the light box and you trace onto the heat bond, and then you put the heat bond on the fabric, cut it out.
So you had to trace the fabric, trace it on the fabric.
No, trace it onto the heat bond.
Okay.
Put the heat bond on to the fabric, and then you cut them both out.
Okay.
And I'm really thrilled with how the letters came out because I thought they were going to be fiddly and wonky because they're very thin strips, but they really worked.
Yeah.
So
they look good.
Next week I start tackling bugs.
Okay.
Let's see what I have to do next week. I have to make these guys. The two silhouette ones.
Okay.
And these are going to be a little trickier because these have got lots of tiny little pieces.
A lot of tiny little pieces.
We should persevere. But this is definitely product-based, not project-based.
It's good though. It looks really, really good.
And it's a new skill, so.
Yeah. Okay, there you have it. Those are our 5 classes, what we're doing in each of them, and our progress so far. So we are going to be checking in a couple of times between now and the end of the semester and showing you how far we've gotten and where we are with everything. But this is so far really enjoying it.
Yes.
Really loving everything that I'm making. And I'm not feeling overly stressed as far as, making my goals for the week because I've made the goals relatively easy to follow. Excuse me. And it's a lot of fun.
It is. It's
we picked some good projects to work on.
And it's learning, at least 2 of them, I'm learning brand new things.
Right.
Like the applique for in the wings quilt, and then the foundation paper piecing, neither of which I've ever done before.
Right.
So that's really fun.
Yes.
And there are things that have been sitting there for us, I'll get to that someday. So,
right. And now we're making a point of trying to do it. I'm going to be doing a little bit of applique because the spider gets appliqued on. And then the foundation paper piecing is brand new. And making a mouche and friends. This is a newer thing for me. I haven't done a stuffy like that before. So
yeah.
It's all good. It's all very good. So that's where we are. Okay. If you would like to join us and pick some projects for you to do back to school, please feel free. Let us know in the comments what you're doing. Remember, it's got to be history, science, language arts, math, and an elective.
Right.
Fit it in somehow. Let us know how you do it.
And if you only want to take one class, just take one class. If you want to audit and just watch us,
that's also cool.
Yeah. Also available.
Yep. All right. So we hope you guys have a great rest of the week.
Yes, if you are new here and you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and comment and like. Help us get found by other people,
Creatives.
Similarly inclined.
Right. If you click the bell, it lets you know every time we upload a video, but we usually put up a pre-recorded video on Tuesdays, and then we do a live video on Fridays at noon Eastern Standard Time. So you're more than welcome to come join us for that too.
Yes, so we will be back on Friday, and I guess we're to the go forth and create part.
Yes. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.